Mark Twain wrote that a cauliflower's nothing but a cabbage with a college education. Now, that could be interpreted in a few different ways, but maybe in the culinary sense, it refers to the fact that cauliflower started out as a wild cabbage back in ancient Greek and Roman times. Over the centuries, it's been cultivated to be a little more sophisticated. And now that we know it can be used as a low-carb replacement for rice and other grains, the popularity of cauliflower has skyrocketed in the U.S. over the last decade. I'm Charity Nebbe. On this episode of Iowa Ingredient, we'll travel to eastern Iowa to visit with Carmen Black, a farmer with a passion for vegetables, including cauliflower. Then, Chef David Baruthio from Baru 66 applies classic French technique to cooking with cauliflower. All that and more coming up next on Iowa Ingredient.
Funding for Iowa Ingredient is provided by the W.T. and Edna M. Dahl Trust, Chef Lisa Laval of Trellis Cafe and the River Center, and Chef Michael Laval of the Des Moines Embassy Club. For more than 100 years, the Des Moines Embassy Club has provided a place to dine, celebrate, and do business, located in downtown Des Moines and in West Des Moines. And the Friends of Iowa Public Television Foundation.
So we're gonna go put these in the oven at 350 degrees. Perfect dish. I'm gonna get some of those beans with my sweet potato.
Bit of salt. Wow.
Low in fat and carbs, high in fiber and vitamin C, cauliflower has been boldly making its way onto dinner plates all over America. Now, it was quite popular in France in the 16th century, but here in the United States, it was thought of as pretty boring for the 20th. These days, though, we know that cauliflower is incredibly versatile. It can be roasted, steamed, riced, mashed, pureed. Restaurants are even serving large, chunky slices prepared like a steak, served as the center of the meal with a knife and a fork. However you're preparing it, it's pretty clear that cauliflower is experiencing something of a renaissance in the kitchen and the garden. The brassica family has many members: cabbage, kale, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and of course, cauliflower, just to name a few. Sometimes called cole crops, they share many agricultural similarities, but the special part about growing these plants is that they allow farmers like Carmen Black to extend their growing season, sometimes clear up until Thanksgiving.
This family, the brassica family that cauliflower and broccoli are all part of, is a great crop for fall because it actually, the flavor improves with frost for some of these, gets a little sweeter.
Carmen owns and operates Sundog Farm outside of Solon, Iowa. It's mid-November, and for the last 28 weeks, she has provided fresh vegetables to her CSA customers.
In order to keep it interesting for that amount of time for people, we grow a lot of different things. So in the spring, greens and lettuces. Then the summer we grow, all the different kinds of vegetables you can think of. And then in the fall, like a lot of things like cauliflower and Brussels sprouts that are hard to grow at other times.
While cauliflower can grow well in Iowa, it tends to be a little temperamental. Too hot or too wet, and the plant might either bolt early or not develop at all. A typical Iowa growing season usually means atypical weather. This can prove challenging for farmers, especially when it comes to finding the right time to harvest.
You can tell cauliflower is ready when it starts to unfurl. So you can see on this one, it's like you can't even see the head. The leaves are all wrapped around it. This one is just ready. And this is when I like to cut them so that they don't get overgrown. I think that cauliflower is a little challenging. You can grow cauliflower that you start in the spring. I've not had very good luck with that because Iowa, as you know, gets hot. Things like cauliflower and broccoli, when it's hot, respond by the flower. That is just a challenge, so I prefer to grow it in the fall.
Aside from your traditional stark white head, cauliflower can take on a range of uncommon colors and textures, everything from cheddar to graffiti and Romanesco. White cultivars tend to be some of the hardiest, so that's why you find them most often in grocery stores.
You can see within even cauliflower, we grow 5 different kinds just for fall cauliflower. And so that means that, the purple is not ready yet for some reason, but we will have cauliflower next week because the other varieties are ready. I would recommend growing cauliflower in a new space every year. I think that is the most important thing. So if you have a garden and you want to be growing things like cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, that whole family, I would recommend doing that in a different part of your garden every year and giving the ground as much time as possible to recover in between years. The biggest problem I've heard home gardeners talk about is planting them too close together. They don't produce as well and sometimes might not even produce at all. The way you cut them is you just try and reach underneath with your knife and do a nice clean cut as much as you can there. And then I like to field clean them a little bit.
Cauliflower may not be the easiest crop to grow, but as Carmen shows us, with a little time, patience, and care, it's a plant that yields plenty of rewards.
It's like a walk in the garden.
For many years, Chef David Baruthio has cooked with us in our studio kitchen, bringing out the best in local ingredients and making them the star of the show. Chef David received special recognition for his talents. He is now Master Chef David Baruthio, a tremendous honor.
It's an organization. We are about 240 worldwide. There's several of them in the U.S. Most of them have our great friend. And I was very honored when I was introduced to that. They came to Iowa and inspect me. Daniel Boulud gave me the award by the Statue of Liberty on June 17. That was the day where Bartholdi, who is an Alsatian guy, actually offered as a gift the Statue of Liberty to the U.S. 180 some years ago. So it was, the best part of that, you're a master chef, okay, it's great, it's a reward. But for me, it's, you get to meet super cool people in the industry that know what they're doing, and they've been doing this all their life, and there's a mutual respect. For me also, it's, you learn every day. And the minute you say, oh, I'm bored, I'm not learning, is because you have decided not to learn anymore, but you learn. For me, that's the attraction, learning. And of course, you open the door to the world. I've been all over the world seeing cool things, new food, new experience, and that's just fantastic. You go somewhere and you see people that it's street food in Thailand, to a fine dining restaurant in New York. Your brain just absorbs that. You come there, you see things, you taste things, and people say you eat with your eyes. I don't think that's totally true. When you put the food in your mouth, it's got to create something. And your sense, your palate, like it or not, and that's what it is. The eyes comes last. Yeah, food got to be pretty, it's for sure, because you got to be commercial, but it's got to be good. And that's what I like, taking what I see everywhere, putting flavors together and creating my own thing.
And now we're here in the kitchen with Chef David and
Hi.
a special guest as well, Chef Marc Navai. Welcome so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, your public television and Chef David Baruthio for inviting me.
And Chef Marc is from the Basque region that straddles the border of France and Spain.
Right in between Spain and France. We have 4 provinces in Spain, we have 3 in France. But it's a country. We have our own techniques, our own language, we have everything, you know?
All right.
And the largest colony outside the Basque country is in Boise, Idaho.
Boise,
here.
Idaho.
Yeah,
Okay.
big immigration.
Go.
Great.
Well, welcome, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, let's cook with cauliflower. What are we gonna make?
So we're gonna do a cauliflower gratin. You know, go back in the childhood, a little bit of classical cooking of France, and we're gonna make a bechamel. We're gonna actually cook the cauliflower in milk, so it's gonna remain nice and white, and we're gonna use that cooking liquid to make the bechamel and the sauce for the gratin.
All right,
There
so
we
we
go.
start with that cauliflower.
Perfect.
All right, so you take
Then
the core out.
You take the core out, and then it just falls apart.
Nice.
Just crack it nicely like this. We want to keep it, you know, what we call the florets. We want to keep the shape of the cauliflower as much as we can, but breaking it apart a little bit. So also it'll cook a little bit faster. So there we go. So we're gonna put it in the pan,
Okay.
just as it is.
There we go.
Beautiful.
And then we're gonna add that milk.
The
All
whole
right.
milk.
All of the milk.
Perfect. Just until we cover it up. Oh yeah, cleans it all. Perfect. Then we're gonna put some aromatics. So I got a little bay leaves, a little thyme.
All right.
Just put it in
The
there.
whole thing goes in.
The whole thing.
All
It's
right.
perfect.
So we'll pull those out later. huh?
Exactly. And I'll put a little bit of salt. Right. Touch of garlic. There we go. We put a lid up.
This
And
is
we
gonna
let
be
it cook.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Voila.
We're gonna prepare now the bechamel.
Okay.
The famous bechamel. It's a mother sauce, you know, in France. Mother sauce, it's considered like a basic. A lot of people think it comes from France, but in reality, it comes from Italy. What I like to do is put a little touch of onion, you know, in my bechamel always. Put 4 ounces of butter. Now we are ready. You see the butter, it's a little bit bubbling, and we're gonna add the flour.
All right.
You can go in one shot, just like this, and you make sure you mix it well,
No lumps.
no lumps.
Constantly stir that.
Yeah, because if he stays, you know, we could burn.
But you want to cook the flour, right? You gotta
Yes.
cook the
Yes.
the gluten, right?
Yes, we're gonna cook the gluten, so it will be much faster after that when we're gonna add this to the milk. You see those grains? It means that the gluten is cooked.
Well, thank you, Chef Marc. So now that the roux is done, we have our cauliflower cooking. We're just gonna wait and enjoy a glass of wine.
All right.
All right, the cauliflower is done. So,
All right, it's perfect.
yeah, what is the next step?
Fantastic.
Next, we're gonna take the cauliflower out of the milk. Oh yeah, it's absolutely great.
Perfect.
Now that the cauliflower is done, we're gonna strain the milk. And
right.
we can finish the sauce.
All right. So we go back to the roux. We're gonna add little by little because
That's how you incorporate it, right?
incorporate, yeah. Now you make sure that you whisk at all time. We're gonna add a little pinch of nutmeg. I love that in the bechamel, you know. It gives a nice taste. We just whisk it until we get the consistency that we need. Check the spoon. You see the way it is?
Yeah.
You're done. So we're gonna finish it with a touch of cream, and we're gonna get that silky texture,
yeah.
you know? So you see, we incorporate the cream.
That's beautiful.
Et voila, it's perfect.
So we have a beautiful bechamel. So I'm going to take a lovely gratin dish that I have
Plate
here.
goes in the oven, of course.
Right. That perfect silky ivory white.
That is gorgeous.
So you'll see the onion that we put at the beginning, you remember? So now we're gonna sprinkle with some cheese.
Lots of cheese.
Lots of cheese.
And then it goes
and
in the
Charity,
oven.
in the oven on broil
Okay, and for how long?
until you like the color. You know, there
Because
is no
everything
time.
is fully cooked.
I can't wait to
Right.
eat.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, sir. Just put it there right under the heat.
Exactly.
Our cauliflower gratin is done.
I'm gonna break the crust.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds perfect. Beautiful.
All right, it's perfect. But a little touch of green. Bon appetit.
Wonderful. Let's try
Thank
it.
you.
Wow.
It's work for everybody.
Make sure I get a little bit of the cheese with it.
Yeah. That's so creamy.
For
That's
me, it's like
fantastic.
a transportation in my childhood.
Yeah, takes you
beautiful.
right back.
Right back.
Well, chefs, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Chef Mark, for joining us. It was
Yeah.
great.
That
Thank
was
you.
my pleasure.
What a treat.
Thank you.
All right, time for another cauliflower recipe.
Right.
Chef David, solo this time.
The solo.
What are you gonna make?
Well, we're gonna take some beautiful cauliflower. You know, cauliflower is really, it's one of those trendy vegetables. I don't know if you remember when you were a kid. It's kind of painful to have to eat them when your
Yeah.
parent put them on the
I
table.
do
And
remember.
now it's
It's hip.
fashionable. It's high. It's hip. And so I'm gonna create a risotto out of a cauliflower.
Ooh.
We're gonna start by, shredding the cauliflower. You see, we got that beautiful. It's like a little bit like rice, you know.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna take a little bit of, I got the baby portobello mushrooms. You know, I'm gonna chop those up a little bit, just to. Now when we start here, a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Right, we've got some shallots that I chopped a little bit.
Nice.
There you go. And we're gonna put right away the mushroom first. A little bit of salt. Touch of pepper. And don't hesitate to add a little bit of more olive oil if you have to, right?
All right.
No, we don't want to give a color to the shallot. We just want to sweat them a little bit.
Okay.
And now I add the
Cauliflower.
cauliflower. Voila. And then vegetable stock.
All right. And of course, you could use whatever kind of stock you want.
Correct. There we go. And now we're gonna cook it down and let the magic happen.
All right.
So voila, you can see our
That's beautiful.
cauliflower risotto. It's all cooked, still a little bit crunchy. I will say al dente, right?
Nice. It
Now
looks like a risotto.
Now we're gonna finish it off. So a little bit of butter, right? The real way, like you will finish a normal risotto.
To make it creamy.
To make it creamy. Touch of cream.
Wonderful.
Right. Stir it. Melt it in there, let it kind of cook. And during this time, let's sear our scallops.
Okay. And these cook so quickly.
Oh, they do. You know, you don't want them overcooked. You want a kind of a flash sear. You know, a little bit of flavor here and there. I'm gonna put a little bit of the Parmesan, a little bit of parsley for the color.
Beautiful.
Voila.
Almost everything's better with a little bit of green.
I agree. I'm gonna finish that, you know, just because I'm French. Touch of butter in there.
It would be wrong if you didn't put
Right.
butter in there.
And bastards a little bit. Beautiful.
Smells together, it's just beautiful.
Finish a little bit of this.
Another touch of green.
And a touch of olive oil, just a little bit.
Perfect.
Finish it off, and we
All
have
right.
a cauliflower risotto.
Wow. That's
There
such
you
a
go.
great idea. I'm gonna have to make that at home.
Please invite me when you do.
All right. Chef David, thank you so much.
Bon appetit.
Originally, we are from Bhutan and spending 18 years in refugee camp and finally landed in Des Moines. When we were in camp, we are stateless, jobless, and hopeless, and we don't have any identity.
Tika Bandari and her family were forced to leave the Himalayan country of Bhutan when she was 9 years old. Tika's father was a farmer in Bhutan before they were offered a chance to resettle in Des Moines. Through the Global Greens program, Lutheran Services in Iowa reconnects former refugee farmers with the land as they build their new lives in the United States.
I like doing my farm because my dad has a passion growing all those things. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago, and I am taking all this over. And this is naturally grown without any chemicals. And also, I like to teach my kids that where the food comes from. But you can keep for winter. That's good.
Through Global Greens, farmers can access space to grow food, learn more about U.S. agriculture, and start their own business by selling their produce.
We have 19 different community gardens that we either partner with the city of Des Moines or churches or other organizations or that we manage ourselves. So our community gardens are kind of come from a host of different organizations who are offering their land. We also have several farmers who have graduated from this incubator site, and they're renting farms from landowners on their own, just like you would with a regular business. A lot of farmers will grow, when they first start out, traditional vegetables that they grew back in their home countries. For some of our African farmers, that might mean lenga-lenga, which is a type of amaranth green, African eggplant. For our Bhutanese farmers or our Nepali farmers, that looks like bitter melon, roselle. And then as they begin to grow in the program and start to sell to these outside markets, they're learning how to grow American crops like tomatoes, lettuce, peppers, things that you would expect to see at any farmer's market.
Daikon radish is more crunchy and more juicy comparing to other.
Global Greens coordinates a variety of market outlets for the farmers. The LSI Farmers Market near Drake University in Des Moines offers customers a chance to meet the people who are growing their food.
We also run a aggregated CSA, or community supported agriculture. So with that, all of our farmers who participate in our program can sell to us, and we disperse those CSA shares to members who are part of the Global Green CSA. Some of our farmers sell at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market, and then farmers also sell at the Iowa Food Cooperative or other markets that they've identified for their own business.
The refugee farmers enjoy being able to reconnect with the land and get back to their roots. Global Greens provides a sense of community they may have missed since leaving their home country.
And just going to our farmers market and being able to see everybody sort of working together, and it's a very joyful and celebratory atmosphere. Getting to see that sort of sharing and cooperation among our program participants, that it's not just kind of this business that you're running to make money, but it really is a community effort that they can all share in together.
What I like to say is that it is hard to farm and do a farming to produce, but the taste and how it grows and to harvest is what I love to do.
That's it for this week's show. I'm Charity Nebbe. See you next time for more appetizing adventures on Iowa Ingredient. Keep in mind that circumstances are always changing, so please take a moment to check ahead if you're planning to visit a restaurant, farm, or event featured on the show.
Funding for Iowa Ingredient is provided by the W.T. and Edna M. Dahl Trust, Chef Lisa Laval of Trellis Cafe and the River Center, and Chef Michael Laval of the Des Moines Embassy Club. For more than 100 years, the Des Moines Embassy Club has provided a place to dine, celebrate, and do business, located in downtown Des Moines and in West Des Moines. And the Friends of Iowa Public Television Foundation.